Who's your favorite waffle? Come on, don't be shy. You don't have to say Eggos.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. Yes. Welcome back to Is It Still Good? The show with two grown-up film students who hate growing up. And in case you're just tuned in for the first time, we look back upon the culture of our youth in this show. We take our rose-colored glasses, we clone them from the remains of what we found on Fury 151. We extract the alien within, and for some reason we keep the husk of a clone, and it is with that set of cloned, shod eyes that we look back upon the culture of our youth. I'm Bear Kennedy in Chicago, and joining me today...
Andrew Carter in Los Angeles, and you're getting deeper and deeper with your references of, the cloning Area 50. I can't keep up.
I was watching Alien Resurrection on HBO
How is
as
that
I was
one?
doing work.
I've never seen that one.
It is... I wish every sequel was that movie, because it's directed by a super weird director. And
Yeah, French guy, right?
Yeah, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who's amazing, who directed Amélie. And
wow, I didn't know that.
A lot of good things about that movie, like the set design, the costumes, the performance is amazing. The script was written by Joss Whedon. The plot, yeah, it should be better. The plot isn't great, but the violence is quite good, and there's a lot of little things to enjoy. Dan Hidea's shoulders make an appearance, which instantly elevates any film.
Wait, is he not in it any other? Is it like
Dan Hedaya has some of the hairiest shoulders mankind
you mean
has
his
ever
bare
made.
shoulders? Okay,
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
They have a scene in that movie that I think is specifically to get his shoulder hair in the frame. He's wearing a tank top for no reason.
He's an underrated actor. I love him in A Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, he's
Take your dancing monkey brother with you. I always used to say that in boarding school. We used to be like, "Come on, let's go. We got to go to sports and take your dancing monkey brother with you." It was the best.
Yeah, he's got an incredible accent.
Yeah, he really does. So today, I know last episode we had said that we were going to be discussing Parachutes by Coldplay, but our guest that was going to join us was unfortunately had to reschedule. So today we are doing Eggo Waffles.
Yes.
And we are going to toast some up and eat them on the show with toppings. I've already got my toppings ready. I do too. I can show them here. I got my raspberries and strawberries, fresh cut. I've got which I never had as a kid. I've got my Nutella to put on the waffle. I never had that on an Eggo, so that's going to be a new thing. And I thought we were out of maple syrup, and then I look, and thank God for little hotel thingies.
Yeah.
Or actually,
did you steal that off an airplane?
Yeah, I actually think this is from my good friend Will Port and his wife Julia. Shout out to them if they're listening, because I think this was a gift at their wedding. They got married in Vermont.
That's a fantastic wedding gift. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was a little welcome bag, goodie bag thing.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Excellent Vermont tie-in to give that away at the wedding. That's fantastic.
Vermont's a really, I don't know, I wouldn't say underrated state, but it's a great state. Before we went, Zoe was like, "I don't want to go. It's boring. Vermont's boring." And then we went, and she was like, "I love it." And now she's a changed woman. I wonder if she can hear me. If Zoe can, yeah, she can. She's over there.
So you were in a movie that takes place in Vermont. Did it film in Vermont?
No. Super Troopers 2 was shot in it shot in two sections. In order to qualify for some tax break, they had to shoot some of it at the end of 2015, because that's when they raised the $4 million from crowdfunding. I think it was 4.7 actually. And I think they had to raise an additional amount of money for it. But in order to qualify, in order for that 4.7 to not get taxed the shit taxed out of it, they had to shoot some of it that year. So they shot about 2 weeks in October of 2015 in Hadley, Massachusetts, which is Western Mass. It's like Amherst. It's around UMass Amherst and Amherst College. And the scene that I was in was shot there, as well as I was assisting the director, Jay. And I think the next section was the next fall, 2016, which I didn't go for. but I think that was also somewhere in Massachusetts.
Got
It's funny because a lot of the movie takes place in like half in Vermont in the fictional town of Spurbury, and then the rest is in Canada. But I don't think they shot any of it in Canada or Vermont. I think it was all Massachusetts. Massachusetts is known for having really good tax breaks and rebates for films.
Well, that's a little peek behind the curtain for you non-industry folks. On how that
You're
all works.
welcome in advance. And I'm
What do we got? We got a little
half
Ovaltine?
calf coffee, and I never have coffee, so this is gonna be an energetic episode for Andrew. All right.
I'm gonna get this out of the way up front because it could be it could be a revocation of my culinary card here, but I grew up on Hungry Jack syrup, which is not real maple syrup. It's about as fake as it gets.
What is fake maple syrup? What does that mean?
I think it's just sugar. I'm pretty sure it's just flavored sugar. It's
like
got
heated up sugar.
Yeah, and then it's got the bottle where you put it in the microwave, and there's a little microwave on the package, and when it gets hot, it says hot in the microwave.
Oh wow, okay.
So it gives you like a chart on the back that tells you the times based on how much syrup is in the little canister, and that's what you microwave it for.
Jack syrup. I thought when I
yes.
heard that, I thought of Hungry Man dinners. I used to have those, like the microwavable.
Similar.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were good.
But different. Hungry Jack is extremely strange because on the package it says does not require refrigeration, and that is the only product I've ever seen that specifically says like, it's up to you if you want to put this in the fridge or not.
Yeah.
Which is very odd to me. I'm not against maple syrup, the real thing, at all, but that is a weird. I don't know why the fuck my parents opted for the Hungry Jack, because that is my association with Eggos and breakfast shit at home, is that Hungry Jack fake as fuck microwave this bottle shit. It was later in life till I realized that is not what people will think of when they think of maple syrup. So
No.
weird.
See, like I don't think I've ever even heard of Hungry Jack because we grew up like being from not only from the East Coast but like from Connecticut. Vermont maple syrup is everywhere.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
just,
sense.
Like, what you have in terms of maple syrup, so that's what we had all the time.
Yeah, I think Hungry Jack is just like a nightmare Midwest thing. just the death of anything cultured.
Nightmare Midwest. There is some stuff like that in the Midwest. Some like weird, like, I don't know. I can't describe it, but like, oh god, what was? Oh man, there was. I feel like the first time I ever went to Chicago, there was some type of food, and oh, you never had that before, and I was like, no, what the hell is that? Like, I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but
there's just stuff sometimes in the Midwest, like for people who pride themselves on being down to earth. Every once in a while, something super fucked up just squeaks by and becomes, accepted. And so, fake maple syrup was something that I lived on from age 0 to 18. And when I oh yeah, I've gotten into some more artisanal syrups as I've gotten older, but when I fry up these waffles here in a few minutes, you better fucking believe I'm gonna get that Hungry Jack going. Gotta have that shit.
wait, so you're still gonna have the fake bullshit?
Oh hell yeah, I had a old bottle of it in my fridge door that was
Oh my god,
well past the sell-by date, but that shit's sugar. Like that never goes bad. So I've been using that as I've just beefed my way through the better part of a box of Eggos here all week.
Oh my god! And you're definitely gonna have to have. You're gonna have to show that on camera. Number one.
Not a problem.
And number two, I didn't realize that you actually liked it. You were talking about it like,
do.
oh, I grew up on this bullshit, and now my tastes are more refined. But you actually still eat it.
It's more. I know I'm wrong, but it's too late now, and I just instead of just rejecting, wholesale what I grew up with, I've just made room for things that are better. So I'm just more encompassing. But yeah, I'm not dressing it up as much as you are. I like butter on it. I like the Hungry Jack, and that is Eggos.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could be going about it the wrong way because, like, having a fresh, we got a waffle maker for our wedding, and that shit is awesome. And like, we dress it up. We do chocolate chip waffles. We dress it up with berries, syrup, Nutella, whatever. But Eggo, I remember when I remember eating it with butter as a kid all the time.
Fuck yeah.
I loved it, and probably syrup too. I think I remember syrup more for pancakes growing up, but it was all about butter and with the Eggos for me. But I don't know. I don't dislike butter, but I don't really like butter on specific like breakfast items. I don't really to be honest with you, man, I don't really love pancakes anymore. I was never a big pancake guy anyway. I don't hate them, but people who are like, "Oh god, I want some pancakes right now." I've never had a craving for pancakes in my life, I don't think.
So have you just switched to waffles, or did you when you need a breakfast kind of off the griddle, you're just never going pancake. It's just kind of going to be
No, it'll be waffles probably. Yeah. I've always been more of a waffles guy anyway, but it'll be waffles. It'll probably something that has been surprisingly making its way into my life. Not a ton, but I've had it like, I don't know, 3 times in the last year or so. French toast, and I'm a big fan. I never really was as a kid on that one either.
French toast kicks ass. It
does. It's really good.
People like to rip on the French, but they have food kind of figured out, and that is entry-level fare for sure if you're thinking about getting into French culture. But
French food is so good that you can go to somewhere like the Champs-Élysées, go to some like offshoot little hole-in-the-wall restaurant whose name you don't remember, and you can get escargot, and it'll be fucking amazing. Yeah, that's how good French food is. It's like, it's not like going to Times Square, New York, and having some like TGI Fridays bullshit.
No, like, their worst food is still pretty fucking good. And I remember one of the things that even our teachers, when I was over there for study abroad, would make fun of us for is American cheese. Their word for it, I think, is le plastique. Because they're like, this is bullshit. Like, you people are idiots. I can't believe you put that in yourself.
It is gross. I hate American cheese. I only like it on an In-N-Out burger.
I will do it on burgers, but it's bad.
That's the thing, dude. I'll do it on an In-N-Out burger, but I probably won't do it on a burger that I make at home.
Interesting.
It's gross.
It sucks.
It sucks. It's really bad. And I used to have it on grilled cheeses too, and then I learned like, oh, you can do like Gruyere and cheddar and Parmesan even on a grilled cheese, and it'll blow your fucking mind.
Oh yeah, it'll fuck you up.
Yeah, and I don't know. Anyways, Eggos. Do you remember the first time? Did you grow up eating Eggos? Like,
big time.
Was it like that was your choice? Because that was mine. I was obsessed. When I was growing up, the toy movie TV show thing I was obsessed with was Thomas the Tank Engine, and the food I was obsessed with was Eggos. I loved Eggo waffles.
Yeah, I liked them a lot. My parents still buy them all the time. They still offer them to me when I'm over there. Like, oh, you want some Eggos or something? I'm like,
do they eat them, or just like, oh, we have them for the kids when they come?
I think they do. I know my dad eats like cinnamon swirl toast out of the toaster every single day. And he
like the Pepperidge Farm.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And he just tried to pawn off on me. I was over there over the weekend, and I forgot it. But he accidentally bought strawberry swirl toast and like didn't even open it. He's like, "This is gonna be awful," and he offered it to me, and I like strawberry shit, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that." And then I forgot it. So that's actually
it off. I love that.
That's actually better for them because that means they're like, "Oh, you forgot your toast. You have to come see us now." Because that's the
How far away do you live from them?
Like 40 minutes.
So you're in Chicago. Suburbs. Where are they? Like
they're on the southwest side.
So what's the suburb called?
They live in Burr Ridge. I live up in Ravenswood.
Burr Ridge. Okay. Is that anywhere near Winnetka or Wilmette?
Complete opposite side.
That's what I thought. Okay. My mom's best friend from childhood lives in Winnetka.
Similar aesthetic, a lot of old white people. Yeah. A lot of boating culture. A lot of less Eggos than you'd think, but my parents are down to earth.
Are you guys near the Lake Michigan?
I am like a mile and a half.
Okay, so that means your parents are just in the other direction.
They're just in Illinois.
Yeah.
But anyway, my dad, at one point, he considers not eating anything for breakfast, just eating toast. That's cinnamon swirl toast. He's like, "Oh, I was on edge. I didn't eat anything." My mom was like, "Well, you ate cinnamon swirl toast." He's like, "That doesn't fucking count. That's not breakfast. That's just like the first thing." Fuel. Yeah, he like must have that touch his lips, first thing in the morning, or it's not a real day. So I'm looking forward to inheriting that level of like weird dadding when I get older. But yeah, my parents they stock Eggos. It was not a school time breakfast for me. It was, I think, purely weekends and definitely summer. Definitely summer because I would
so it was more like a treat.
Kind of. And I remember when I played football all through high school and shit, like I had to be up super early, go to football practice all summer long, get home at like 10, take a shower, jerk off real quick, and then make myself breakfast. And I would make eggs or waffles, and I'd kind of like rotate between that. So
this was when, high school?
High school. So I probably had, I mean, I'm a little OCD, so this is weird. I probably had a schedule. I was like, all right, Tuesday, Thursday, tea days or Eggo days. And then like Friday would be like poached eggs, really treat myself or something.
So egg or Eggo.
Yeah. Like I do like scrambled eggs or something Monday, Wednesday, and then Eggos.
Would you ever have them together?
Absolutely not. That is completely different breakfasts.
Would you ever have an Eggo with bacon though?
No. I mean, I would now for sure, but not back then. That would be bacon. Like when you're a kid, and maybe people cook for themselves more than I did. Like bacon was difficult. I couldn't handle bacon for a while.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like whenever my parents would make it, I would just be like, "How did you do that?" I couldn't. Yeah. I mean, I also wasn't a kid that grew up cooking. My sister started cooking for herself when she was 7. She made like chicken noodle soup or something. I didn't start cooking for myself probably till this quarantine. Like I love it. I've gotten really good at it though. I really love cooking. What did I do the other day? I've gotten really good at cooking things like, I don't know, I'll see people on Instagram posting like, braised short rib with, whipped mashed potatoes, and I'm like, I can do chicken tenders.
Hell yeah.
And burgers and hot dogs and ribs and stuff. I can do stuff that's like just very like, I don't know, there's something, I feel like all the foods that I just mentioned are very communal, so maybe there's a part of me that's like, missing being around people, and that's why I'm cooking things that like, let's have this at a barbecue. That's wonderful analysis.
Yeah. You just, like, if I make barbecue, more people will show up. If I cook family style, by default,
I did make ribs the other day, and I gave a slab of them to my neighbors that live 2 doors down, who have 2 little boys. They're very sweet, and like a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I think the kids liked it, which I was relieved at because little kids are the harshest critics.
I specifically did not like ribs as a kid.
Yeah, and they'll like little kids like, do you like it? No, and you don't need to. They just don't like it, and that's it. It's done. And their mom texted me and was like, "Hey, the kids really like it. Like, you did good. 3-year-olds are pretty brutal." And so I was like, okay, I'm doing something right then, which is great.
So what are we doing for ribs? We doing a little oven, like 200 degrees all day, or are you getting?
No, I got a smoker. Did I tell you I got a smoker? Zoe got me a smoker for my birthday.
Sweet.
It's an entry level smoker. It's called the Char Griller Smokin' Champ. Who knows? Maybe if they hear this, they'll start sponsoring our podcast and they'll send you a smoker.
Clearly, I'm in need.
I think it's great. I love smoking meats, and I love going up there and the whole process. It is a process. It's a more or less an all day thing. I mean, not literally 24 hours, but it's 5 to 6 hours. And so what I do is Zoe also got me last year actually a book on Franklin barbecue, like the famous barbecue from Texas, from Austin. That's like the best barbecue in the world, and it's just like his manifesto. And so I've been focused on the ribs since I got the smoker, just trying to get those down. She did also get me some brisket and some tri-tip. They're in the freezer because I'm just very intimidated, and I'll probably do those. Maybe I'll do them around the holidays when I'm feeling a little lucky. But
you can work ribs, up to that.
Yeah, the ribs are basically, I season them with salt and pepper. Sometimes I'll do a binder of mustard just to have it stick, but that's not necessary. The last time I didn't do mustard in it, they tasted a lot better, so that's interesting. But salt and pepper, and then I get the fire going in the smoker. It's a smoker with a side firebox, and so in the firebox I get, I put charcoal and fire. The toughest thing is regulating temperature, because up on our rooftop it's very windy. But I'll add the charcoal, and I'll add a couple pieces of what's it called?
You get the mesquite going?
Not mesquite. Sometimes mesquite. Other times it's cherry wood, like cherry wood chunks. Those are very good for pork. And other times it's actually, most of the time it's hickory. But I gotta get more cherry wood because the wood chunks are good, but the bigger logs are they burn much better and for longer.
Yeah.
But again, it's so windy sometimes that can fuck with the temperature. But I'll get it going. I'll get it hot. I'll put the ribs down. I'll keep them there for about 2 hours. Then I'll spritz them with vinegar and water just to make sure that the color is consistent. You want them to be like a reddish color throughout. And then you can sauce them. Cook them for 15 minutes, flip them over, sauce them again, spray them again, 15 more minutes. Then you wrap them. And then at that point, they're not going to absorb any more smoke. So you can keep them up there for another 2 hours. But I bring them back down to the oven at 275 and let them go for another 2.5. Yeah, about 2.5 hours. And also the real key is, and this is something that I learned through this book, is that falling off the bone completely is actually not what you want. That's a little overdone. You want them to come off the bone easily, but require like just a little bit of work. And I think the reason for that is they're called ribs for a reason. And if they're coming off the bone so easily, then it's like, what the hell are these things? But it's been a really interesting process. Again, I love it. And I'm excited to try brisket and try tri-tip up on the smoker. That's much longer. Like brisket's like a 9-hour process. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have to wake up at 2 a.m. or something.
No, just go into the night. Just like I know dudes wake up early, but fuck that. Waking up early sucks. Just go
fucking
late.
Worst. I hate waking up early.
I know that technically, again, this is another thing that's wrong that I've adjusted to. You're not, like you said, you're not supposed to have the ribs fall off the bone. But I got room in my life for different theories of barbecue, and I have no problem with the falling off the bone ribs, and I like them a lot. Like I am a big proponent.
I don't either. I don't have a problem with it either. I'm just I'm just trying to get better, and so whatever Aaron Franklin says, I'm going to listen to.
That's fair. I'm a big proponent of Twin Anchors ribs in Chicago. I know a lot of people don't like them. But
what's Twin Anchors ribs? Is that a chain or?
No, it's an old timey restaurant. It makes an appearance in the dark of night. It's a bar that they use as a shooting location, and it's kind of a famous little dive that has ribs that are really fucking good. But they are definitely.
Are they spare ribs, baby backs? What are we talking?
I believe they're baby backs.
Okay, I've been doing spare ribs up there. That's. I have a rack of baby backs in the freezer that I have to give a shot to. I might just do those in the oven because they're a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But spare ribs are no joke. They're fucking. The racks are huge.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I love it. Now I'm gonna try. Now I'm curious because you can smoke other stuff too. I saw a recipe online for like a smoked paloma, which is the grapefruit drink. You smoke a grapefruit in your smoker for like an hour or something, and then you add that to the drink, and it tastes smoky and delicious.
That is one of the most underrated tequila drinks you can have.
It is.
Palomas are fucking awesome.
People do not get. About it. Everyone talks about the margarita. Margaritas are too sweet.
Yeah, margaritas can cause you problems. Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on the mix that you do. But
Palomas are fucking great.
Palomas are awesome. I agree. Now I want to smoke waffles. I wonder how those would taste.
It might be okay. I mean, the main thing with waffles, you're usually, I'm like you. I have the big actual, like the Belgian waffle maker. Like I have like the Waring one. I can do 2 at a time. That's pretty hardcore. Oh yeah,
damn,
awesome.
Yeah, we have a little guy, but that's cool with us. But yeah, that's no joke.
I love waffles. I love making them. I like adding different things to the mix. Like you get a little cinnamon in there. Now we're coming up on fall, so a little pumpkin spice in the waffle is quite good.
Pumpkin spice.
But I imagine you could smoke a waffle and it'll probably take that flavor pretty easily.
Yeah, I wonder what it would take. Because I know,
you might want to go light on the time there. Like you could probably kill it pretty fast.
But another thing that I've done in the firebox is I put something in our cast iron and I put it in there and it cooks in the cast iron. Like bacon and eggs can cook in the cast iron, but they can still have that smoky flavor.
Nice.
So I wonder what you would do with a waffle for that. Like I guess you would have to make it and then put it in there for that flavor. But a smoked waffle would it sounds weird to me, but it's almost like, fuck it, why not try it?
It could be good because like you mentioned, bacon with waffles is good because waffles is more of a sweeter experience. And so you get that sweet, salty deal, and that's good, and bacon has that smokiness too. But if you just went smoke without the bacon, I don't know. I could see it being good. I could see it being life-alteringly bad. So that's probably worth checking out.
I know. There's no happy medium. It's like you're either gonna like only want waffles that are smoked, or you're never gonna want to touch a waffle again.
Yeah, I can see it being very bad, but it could be. I think the risk is worth it.
But it's quarantine. Anything goes.
Fuck yeah.
But anyways, with Eggos.
Eggos are different because Eggos, the thing that struck me immediately, I forgot how shallow the divots are on an Eggo.
They're so shallow. They're
very shallow.
They're really thin. They're like they're like the equivalent of a fast food burger patty.
That's a great analogy. Absolutely, yes. And when you're used to like doing the harder core shit out of your waffle maker or whatever the fuck, like you get those big holes, the fucking craters to deal with, and that's all good. But the Eggo ones are very shallow, which I completely had forgotten about, but I found it to be good for spreading butter because you don't get the thing where like half of the butter ends up in one divot. You can get it over the Eggo a bit easier, which I did appreciate.
Yes, that's true. And I remember when we were growing up, it was funny when I went to the store to get Eggos this time. There's so many different flavors, and they have like Eggo pancakes now.
Yeah, which that scares me. Yeah.
Oh, it terrifies. No fucking way. Get the hell out of here. I got the home style waffles. It's exactly what we grew up with.
I did too.
And then there were some that were like, I'm sure I got the chocolate chip ones at some point when they came out. I'm sure that was like the first flavor they introduced, but like I remember after our time as kids, I remember seeing a commercial for Eggo Waffles, like they're filled with some shit, which I didn't ever have. I remember thinking it sounded horrifying, so I just wanted awful. To avoid it.
I remember the minis as well. I remember the commercials for that.
I did get the minis. Yes, yeah. I got the minis too, the cinnamon ones.
And I'm sure like buttermilk is good. I didn't go that direction.
Yeah.
And there's no way blueberry's bad. That's probably right down the middle.
Blueberries are probably good. And then there was the one that was like Belgian style, like a thicker waffle. But I just didn't. I went with the classic home style because
I did too.
Why? That's what we have to do.
Absolutely, yes. That's the baseline. And I got a little history of the Eggo waffle. They were invented by this dude, Frank Dorsa. I'll name check myself. Frank Dorsa in the 50s. And
wow, in the 50s?
Yeah, so they've been around for a bit. So he was hanging out in San Jose, California, and said he figured out a way to freeze waffles, which is a weird thing. It's like I couldn't find any detail on the method to freeze the waffles other than I think they make them and then put them in the freezer. Like right. I don't think there's like a device. It's like we just put them in there.
But if you think about it, that is interesting because Eggos are exclusively frozen food. You have to have a freezer to have them. You get them you buy them in the freezer at the supermarket. And when we have waffles, when we make them on those things, like if we have extras, put them in the fridge. I never freeze them, and like you can even tell by the look of them. I mean, the yellow frozen. Yeah, that's like a trademark Eggo look.
Absolutely, yes, and that's why they're called Eggos. Supposedly because of the egg flavor. But I guess this guy and his brothers were making mayonnaise beforehand, and were using the Eggo name for their mayo, which to me makes more sense because mayo is essentially an egg product.
It is, yeah. Eggs and lemon and
and they said like it was they were called Eggos because they used the most eggs in their mayo. Eggs and lemon? What the fuck? No, dude. Mayo is like eggs, vinegar, and oil.
Paprika. Isn't paprika in there too?
In mayonnaise.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of an egg salad sandwich. That's what I'm thinking of.
I like how you just immediately went into what you use.
But hang on a minute, though.
I appreciate that.
Isn't lemon in mayonnaise? Don't they add lemon to it all? Right? I don't know. I've never made my own mayonnaise.
I haven't. Well, yeah, I think because when you make it, it's called they call it something else. Christ, now I'm blanking on it. It's like it's not aioli. It's something like that.
Yeah, but aioli is essential. Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Because aioli, I think, is like essentially mayonnaise with lemon and other shit.
Yeah.
Where did that come? Like aioli it's mayonnaise. Like why don't you just ask for mayonnaise?
Because
garlic
if you call it aioli, it implies that it's been fancied up or that it's been homemade.
like
if you say it's
sauce.
exactly like if you say mayo, you're conflating it with like Hellman's.
It's true though. Yeah, it's like can I get a side of aioli? And everyone's absolutely. And then it's like, can I get a side of mayo? Ooh. Like,
yeah,
what?
What
what
are you from, Minnesota? Ugh.
Why don't you get out? Yeah, check please. Yeah, they bring the check to you immediately. Like they tell you you're getting the check instead of you asking.
But anyway, so that's how long Eggos have been around. I guess they sold off to Kellogg's in like the 60s, and then
it's a big sale.
Good old Leo Burnett came up with Leggo My Eggo as the slogan, which is pretty fucking unbeatable. Well, it's amazing, but they tried to phase it out like a couple years ago. Like they tried to step back and do a new slogan. They tried to go with Simply Delicious, and my reaction to that was fuck you.
That is the most unoriginal by the numbers slogan. That could be
Awful.
Anything.
It really could.
Leggo My Eggo. There's what else is it?
I hate that they tried to reinvent the wheel there. That's a known winner. Yeah,
it is a known winner. Yeah.
And if you visit the Eggo website, which I super don't recommend because it just depresses me when you go to a website that's kind of the embodiment of brand engagement.
Yeah, what are they, like games for kids?
It sucks. Sucks. It's awful. So don't do that. But they have brought back Leggo My Eggo. It's kind of everywhere. The basic premise being to not share your Eggos, to get your fucking hands
that is
off
really
my,
funny to think
my
about.
waffles, you fucks.
They promote like not sharing,
which is a genius marketing move, because it's like, all right, you're gonna have to buy more of this shit because it's good. So if you have multiple kids, you're not gonna be able to split them.
It's true. Yeah.
So I'm sure they're able to measure that effect.
It's a great point.
I also watched a video with a dude, Mark King, who claims to be he's in the Chiron. He's Eggo product development / R&D, and he's in like a white suit. It says this video again. I super don't recommend watching this, but it's how we make Eggo waffles. And if you want to watch a very bland white man just make a waffle, I recommend that 3-minute experience. There's nothing in there that is at all specific to the Eggo
They have
process.
some mercy.
It was awful. He like comes out. He's like, we're gonna just mix all the ingredients and make batter, and then we put it in a waffle iron, and here's a Eggo waffle. But it wasn't even like the correct size. He just made waffles.
So there wasn't really anything specific about like here's what makes it an Eggo.
And I was all in because like I love how it's made and fucking Modern Marvels and other classic TV shows of the father genre. And this was nowhere near as interesting. So I essentially learned nothing about how Eggos are made beyond they make a bunch of waffles and they put them in the freezer and then you buy them.
Well, yeah, it's like the fast food version of waffles, It
is. It's 100%.
They mass produced and sold, and people eat it up. They sell it to Costco and places like that, and you can get big, huge fucking shipments of it or whatever. But yeah,
I also saw like their market share on Eggos is in the 60s percentile wise as far as the frozen waffle market.
So explain that to our listeners that might not know what market share means. And when I say our listeners, I mean me.
So of all the frozen waffles anyone can buy, like 69% of them being sold are Eggo waffles.
Right.
So of all of them, and there's many brands, Eggo is the clear favorite as far as being sold the most. That is what market share is.
But that's an interesting point. Like, what other frozen? I mean, I'm sure there's like Healthy Choice or
there's a bunch of shit. So
Kashi or I don't know.
The I think this is now a food blog, but Eat This Not That tasted like 9 frozen waffles and ranked them, and Eggo came in hard 9th place out of 9. So there are allegedly 8 other brands of waffles that are better tasting. I like, I don't know what to do with that information. I'm probably going to still buy Eggos.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, too, is, like, we're used to having, like, when you order at a restaurant, like a Belgian waffle, or when you make your own, it's like, oh, there's a fluffiness and a crisp to it. There is, fluffy is definitely not an adjective I would use to describe eating an Eggo from my memory. I remember them being, like, you know, soft enough, but like, crunchy.
There's a serious crunch.
There's a serious crunch, and I guess we're about to find out. So
yeah,
without further ado, let's go make them.
Let's get to the toaster and come back.
We're gonna get to the toaster. We'll be right back, but we'll just keep.
I'm just gonna leave it on.
Yeah, just leave it on. We'll be right back. Oh boy. I'm back. I'm alone. Waiting for my co-host. Okay. Who's your favorite waffle? Come on. Don't be shy. You don't have to say Eggos. Why didn't you say Eggos? I mean, you're sitting here with me, having a breakfast, and I ask you what your favorite waffle is, and you don't say Eggos. Disappointing. Very sad. Very sad.
Beef. 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 Beef.
Guys, looks like Bear has a shitty toaster. Am I right? Or am I right? And I'm sitting here by myself and talking to myself. Now that's chaos. Oh, here he comes.
Shit. All right.
Here he comes.
That took a minute because I've really struggled with the toasting time on these. Which I've really had a problem with the entire week. I've eaten a shitload of these, by the way. I know it probably seems like it to none of our listeners, but we do a ton of prep for this show.
We really do.
So I would ideally like mine to be darker than this.
I know, me too. Mine got like relatively dark, and they're already like we should eat because they're already they're losing heat.
I'm gonna throw. I got the Hungry Jack, which is
that's what it is. Oh,
butter flavored, which is incredibly gross, and I'm gonna just slather them in this.
Oh man, I got some nice pure Vermont maple syrup. Here we go. All right.
I mean, one of the things
are you frozen? Am I frozen?
Am I? You were for a second.
Oh, I was? Am I good now?
We're back. We're good.
We're back. We're good. Okay, great.
One of the things I remember from being a kid, and this came into play too, because like I got the dual toasters. I can do 2 at a time. But usually I'm going to eat 4 of these in general. Ooh. But if you leave the box out and they defrost a little bit, it fucks up your timing even more. Like they don't need as much as the first round.
Really?
You got to watch out for that.
Okay. I'm going to add some strawberries and raspberries. I'm going to save some Nutella for later. I am gonna... And so you've had some this week. This is my first Eggo, and probably... It might even be like 20 years. I don't even know.
Oh, it's easily been 15 for me, but yeah, I've eaten about probably 6 or 8 of these already. And I ate one plain just to see, unadulterated what we were dealing with. But I do have a specific way of eating them, which I didn't even remember, but I snapped right back into, where I kind of eat around the edge and then leave like that middle. Because they are like aggressively crunchy. But when you douse them in Hungry Jack, when you let Jack just come all over your waffle, like they do get a little more moist in the center.
This is, I will say, this is a little fluffier than I remember. There is a crunch, but
there's certainly the crunch really comes out.
Yeah, it does. But there's a fluffiness here.
So what I've ended with is this piece, which it has like the least amount of edge, but the most middle at the end. That tends to be like the softest. I don't know. I like fluffy is generous. I think soft is more along.
Yeah, that's right. Fluffy is generous. I got some strawberry on there. Oh wow. Spilled a little syrup on the table. Almost got on my computer. That wouldn't be good, would it?
No. My computer's sticky enough without syrup.
Oh, you are a gross man.
One of the main complaints, or critiques rather, on the Eat This Not That ranking was that Eggos don't have much flavor, and that is generally true. At least these home
Yeah, they really
ones.
don't.
No, there's not. It is a texture-forward experience.
I'm going to take this bite right here. There is pretty much nothing on there.
Yeah.
Maybe like maybe like a tiny little, like, what's it called? A tiny little brushing of syrup. But here we go. Yeah, it just kind of feels like you're eating just, I don't know, a bed sheet. Like something soft but not much flavor. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for something that claims that the egg flavor is the genesis of its name,
Yeah.
there's not a ton of egg going on.
Yeah.
What I've kind of come to realize as I've plowed my way through a box of these is that these are actually quite a good vehicle for other things. So I do find that texture to be nice.
So a vehicle for other things. Expand on that.
So like with not a ton of natural flavor here, I'm picking up on the butter and the Hungry Jack nicely. It's coming right through.
Okay.
And that shit is, I mean, incredibly sweet and bad for you, but fucking delicious.
But it's good.
So
we got some Nutella on this bite here. Let's see what that's like.
So this would essentially be a vehicle for you to consume Nutella.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Nutella's never bad.
No. It's amazing.
When I get stoned, I dip my finger and take little
Just
bites of
straight in.
Nutella. Oh my god. One of the most delicious things ever.
I've been going through like a pallet of LaCroix when I'm a little stony baloney. I need the bubbles on my tongue.
I get that. One thing that I've loved to do when I get stoned is God, what is it? Not so much cook, but like try and have something that I would normally feel a little guilty about, like the Nutella, the finger in the Nutella. Like usually I'd be like, if I was sober, I'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna, no, oh God. But like when I'm stoned, I'm like, oh God, I'm on my sixth one. This is delicious. But I remember the first time I got high, I made a grilled chicken Caesar salad sandwich.
Are you serious? That's such a good pull. Holy shit, I would do that. I was
really into them. It was the summer of 2004. I had just turned 16. I got high with my sister. And you know what was funny? And I've since told my parents this. So I had wanted to smoke weed that summer very badly. And my friends who had all tried it wouldn't do it with me because they were like, you're going to get us all caught. You're gonna be very clumsy about it. No, they were right. I definitely would have fucked up. They were like, dude, like I'm sorry, I can't risk like getting grounded or getting in trouble. Like I can't do that. And I was like, God damn it, you guys suck. But my sister, I think, had done it, so I was dropping hints to her, like, oh, you know. And then she had these friends come over. It was like 2 weeks before I went back to boarding school. It was like the end of August, and it was like, you know, she had these friends come over. One of her friends, she was like, you know, I'd seen around, a good friend. But then there were these three other, or maybe two or three other dudes who I had never seen before. And I knew, like, they are here to smoke weed, and I am going to be joining them. I just knew it. Like, I was like, I've never seen these guys before.
Those are the weed
like,
friends.
They're one of them was wearing like a backwards Ash hat from Pokemon. I was like, this guy smokes. Like, this is exactly what's going to happen tonight. And then in my parents' house, we have this room called the Red Room. It was just we called it the Red Room because I know it sounds like a BDSM like tortured murder room. But we call it the Red Room because the wallpaper was red when we first moved in, and then they repainted it, but then they made the carpet red, and so it was still the Red Room. And so I was hanging out in the Red Room, and down the hall of my parents have like a galley in their house, like from that room that you can see into like the living room and the kitchen or whatever. And my sister comes strolling down the galley, and she had a pep in her step, and I knew. And I was like, this is it. This is my big moment.
It's on.
She opens the door. She goes, how do you feel about smoking some marijuana? And I was like, let's do it. And everyone says, oh, you won't get high. You won't feel anything your first time. And we smoked outside, like my, like garbage can area. And like we had these automatic lights. And so they kept turning on and off and on and off. And I was like, my parents are going to wake up and we're going to be fucked. But we were fine, and everyone's like, you're not going to feel anything. We start to walk back inside and through, like, the side door into the mudroom, and walking in, it felt like a truck hit me. I just knew, like, oh, man, and I was high. And I just immediately started making a grilled chicken Caesar salad sandwich, and it was phenomenal. Like, the chicken was already made, so I was like, I heated it up, I toasted the bun, I added lettuce, Caesar dressing. Whew, it was incredible.
That's an incredibly good call. I mean, like... For me, I feel like I didn't really understand like getting high and then eating shit till a little later in life. Because if you just smoke weed when you're like partying and all that, like you don't.
Do you remember the first time you smoked weed / got high? Was it one and the same, or was it later?
I think the first time I got high was completely on accident. I think I got a contact high really bad once at a house party. That was a great time.
Just because you were around someone?
Yeah, and then I smoked a bunch of weed and hash in Europe when I was over there. And the first time I got really, like, seriously fucked up was in Amsterdam. Like, I lost the thread of what was going on around me pretty hard.
That is so did you go to, like, one of those hash bars? Or the coffee shops? Did
that, and then went to a Mexican restaurant where I felt like I was getting sucked into the plate for, like, 20 minutes or so. So that was pretty interesting. But the rest of the trip was I kind of, I cooled it a little bit and kind of figured it out. So that was good. I am blessed for a big man for having an unbelievably low tolerance for weed. It is awesome.
So you get high pretty quickly, pretty easily.
So fast, lasts so long. It's delightful.
So in the last couple of days when you've done your edibles, have you had some Eggos?
I actually didn't, just because it just didn't happen that way, and I got into eating other stuff. But I do like, you get that sweet spot, like 90 minutes into an edible where like your taste buds wake up and everything like makes sense. And sometimes if it really hits hard, like I have this feeling like I can like break down all the individual tastes in my mouth. Like it gets like atomized on my tongue. And I start really like getting into like the different gradations of flavor. And that's kind of my favorite thing. And then for whatever reason, I was eating these in the morning mostly because they're a breakfast food. Like it's nighttime now. I think this is the latest I've eaten some Eggos. But I could see it being good. The texture element would definitely play nicely. And anything sweet is usually a good time. And especially what you're doing with the fruit, bringing some of that into it. Fruit is so good with a little Eduardo in you.
What? Eduardo?
Eduardo. He's our friend. His shortened name is Edible.
What is? Oh, there you go. I was wondering where you got Eduardo from, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, these are the ones.
I have the exact same box. Did you get a free book?
Oh shit! 1 box equals 1 free book. I could get that and donate it. Or I could just read it. Because Lord knows I need my lessons. No, that's awesome. All right, as we come to the end here, we've just finished our Eggos. So you went through yours a lot faster than I did.
I slammed through this, but like I said, I have a system. I have a way of doing it. It's a 4-bite experience, and I'm through it.
Wow. Okay. Where do you stand? What's your verdict?
I like them. I mean, I can kind of tell that this is mass-produced, bad-for-you food, which does bum me out more now than it used to.
Yeah.
But considering there's allegedly 8 better brands of frozen waffles out there, and I have no desire to try them at all.
Me neither.
This is kind of the apex of the frozen waffle for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not super into them like I used to. Like, I'm not going to eat them twice a week. Mm-hmm. But I could have a box of these in the freezer hanging out for whenever I want to make it happen. I think the line for me is more, I'm gonna get the wearing out and start making some shit. Like, I'm gonna make batter, I'm gonna do it right, or I'm gonna get Eggos when it comes to waffles.
So, like, you're gonna make good. You're either gonna make waffles yourself and do it the right way, or you're just like, I'm just gonna go get Eggos.
Yeah, or I'm gonna get some Eggos. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and this is without even getting into like some of the more elaborate shit you could do with them, like make a breakfast sandwich or something.
Okay.
There is that utility as well. You could do that pretty quick, which would be good. But yeah, I don't have any problem with these. It is weird that they lack the flavor they purport to have on the box. Mm-hmm. But texturally it's very nice, and it's a great vehicle for other stuff. So I have no problem with these. I thought maybe they wouldn't hold up, but they are remarkably similar to what I remember. I mean, they probably haven't changed shit since the 50s on these, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a yes. Still good.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to give it a no.
Nice.
And the reason I'm going to give it a no is because I was just more excited to eat everything else that the Eggo, like that was on the Eggo rather than the Eggo. And you're right. They haven't changed at all. But like they taste like what I remember, but I don't know. The fact that we have a waffle maker now, and the fact that, the fact that they tasted better with the fruit and with the Nutella and everything, it just made me feel like, well, then I could either just make my own or just have some fruit with Nutella and not need the Eggo. They just don't feel necessary to me. That's the biggest thing, is they don't feel necessary. They don't feel like something I'm going to want to keep having. They don't feel like something I'm going to want to stock my freezer with. They don't even necessarily feel like something I'm going to want when I'm stoned. Granted, that could change. I don't know.
The short prep time is a factor.
That is, that is good. I mean, like, I'll tell you another thing. Like, if I got stoned and was like, I really want a grilled chicken Caesar salad sandwich, I don't even know if I would do that now. I mean, that was just something that was like, I was 16 and I was like, yeah, let's do it. But I feel like, they're a no for me. I wouldn't say like I despise them, but they're definitely not. It feels like little kid food to me. It doesn't feel like I need it in my life. That's all. No disrespect, but I think your opinion on them is very strong, because I think maybe my standards of waffles are just a little like, I'm maybe being a little pretentious like jerk about it, but I'm like,
I think that's warranted. I think your standards, your taste should change as you grow up. Like it's odd that these haven't changed, and I actually think we kind of reached two different conclusions based on the exact same reasoning, which I think is very interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah, you're right, because these have not changed at all, but we have, and yet you're using that as like but that's what I love about them, and I'm using that as that's why I don't need them anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. It would be very interesting if someone hadn't eaten these to feed them to them and get their reaction.
That would be very interesting. Yeah, because imagine if someone had like Belgian waffles and all the good shit and then had that. Who knows? Maybe they were like, maybe they'd be like, oh, these are actually pretty good, or they'd be like, those are fucking poppycock. Like, how dare you put that rabbit food in front of me?
Yeah, like the French might make fun of us for liking these, but I don't know. I wish I think these are so ubiquitous, it'd be tough to find somebody who's never had one.
Yeah, that would be fucking weird.
That would be strange.
Like, our parents have had these, and they're not food for parents, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine anyone that hasn't found them. But yeah, there you have it. Those are our verdicts. It's cool. It's nice. I always find it interesting when we come down and we're split. I mean, I love agreeing with you, but I also like it when we have our differences of opinion as well. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you watched, thank you for eating with us. If you ate an Eggo with us,
Hell yeah.
You can shoot us an email, stillgoodshow@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram @stillgoodshow. Facebook, Is It Still Good? And, of course, our website, stillgoodshow.com. We will see you next time. And if you have a waffle this week, I hope you enjoy it.
Treat yourself. Goodbye.
Bye.